A process server named Justin Lee Fischer, once a police officer in Fort Scott, Kansas, found himself at the center of a bizarre and high-profile incident after trying to serve Taylor Swift with deposition papers connected to a lawsuit involving Justin Baldoni's lawyers and ultimately getting arrested for trespassing at Travis Kelce's home. It happened in the early morning hours of September 15th, in a gated, affluent neighborhood in Leawood, Kansas, at the very home of NFL superstar Travis Kelce. Fischer, an experienced private investigator now at age 48, arrived at Kelce's property around 2 o'clock in the morning. His presence quickly noted by the head of executive protection for a prominent Nashville-based security firm, who wasted no time in alerting authorities. The official police report on the incident was unusually sparse. A single page that made it very clear the information within was restricted in both use and dissemination, which only deepened the mystery around what truly happened that night. Still, additional court documents later obtained confirmed that Fischer was indeed charged with criminal trespassing after he jumped the fence onto Kelce's private residence, an act that set off alarms both literally and figuratively. When approached by reporters about the incident, Fischer was tight-lipped, responding only by text to say he'd be happy to discuss it after the situation was resolved, and emphasizing that he hadn't been injured. Aside from being arrested and now facing the possibility of losing his private investigator's license, he didn't elaborate further and is required to appear in Leawood Municipal Court on October 15th, a date now circled by many following the ongoing legal saga. Fischer's background reads like a complicated novel. He served as a full-time police officer from 2013 to 2021, then worked part-time in law enforcement until 2023, when his license was revoked for 5 years following a domestic incident with his wife, as detailed by the Kansas Commission on Peace Officers' Standards and Training in their official consent decree. What's more, while Fischer is currently listed as a licensed private investigator by the Kansas State Attorney General's office, he doesn't have a public website or business name, and exactly how he was brought into the chaos of this Hollywood legal battle remains a mystery, adding another layer of intrigue to an already sensational story. The lawsuit at the center of all this drama began brewing in December 2024, when actress Blake Lively, 38 years old, publicly accused her It Ends With Us co-star and director, 41-year-old Justin Baldoni, of sexual harassment during the filming of their adaptation of the Colleen Hoover novel. Lively further alleged that Baldoni orchestrated a calculated smear campaign against her, seeking to damage her reputation and career. If you want more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. The response from Baldoni was swift and forceful. He filed a countersuit, not only targeting Lively but also naming her husband, actor Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist in his claims of defamation and extortion. Baldoni's legal team painted a picture of a coordinated effort to tarnish his name and career, but the countersuit didn't gain traction and was ultimately dismissed in June, though the fallout from both the original lawsuit and the countersuit continued to ripple through Hollywood, affecting relationships and reputations across the industry. The deposition papers that Fischer was trying to serve on Taylor Swift were directly tied to these lawsuits. Swift, now 35, had been requested as a witness or deponent, but just 2 days before Fischer's arrest, a federal judge overseeing the legal battle denied the request to depose her, ruling that her testimony was not necessary for the case to proceed. Despite this, Fischer pressed forward, apparently assuming that he might be able to serve Swift at Kelce's home. Given the very public nature of her relationship with the NFL star, a romance that had attracted considerable media attention and speculation. The plan quickly unraveled when Fischer was caught by Kelce's security, who acted quickly and decisively to remove him from the premises and call the police. The details of Fischer's actions that morning remain murky due to the restricted nature of the police report. But what's clear is that his trespassing at the private, high-security residence triggered an immediate law enforcement response, resulting in his arrest and the subsequent criminal charge. Fischer's own statements about the incident were careful. He framed it as simply doing his job, though he acknowledged the personal and professional risk, especially the possibility of losing his private eye license as a result of the arrest. His career leading up to the incident suggests a man accustomed to authority and the complexities of law enforcement. but also one who has faced significant personal and professional challenges, especially following the 2023 domestic incident that led to his law enforcement license being revoked for 5 years. Subscribe for breaking coverage on this wild legal saga. Despite his low profile, no website, no public business presence, Fischer somehow found himself in the thick of a high-stakes, celebrity-driven legal dispute, serving papers in a case that had already drawn headlines for its explosive allegations and dramatic reversals. The involvement of Taylor Swift, even indirectly, only heightened the public interest, especially as her connection to Kelce made his home a logical, if risky, place to attempt service. The presence of highly trained security at Kelce's home underscored how seriously the involved parties were taking their privacy and safety, especially in the face of ongoing legal and media scrutiny. From the very beginning, the lawsuit between Lively and Baldoni was characterized by heated accusations and counter-accusations. Lively's claims of sexual harassment and her assertion that Baldoni orchestrated a campaign to undermine her career sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond. Baldoni's countersuit, which sought to turn the tables by accusing Lively, Reynolds, and their publicist of defamation and extortion, was dismissed, but not before drawing even more attention to the already volatile situation. The attempt to involve Taylor Swift via deposition, and the judge's refusal to allow it, added yet another twist, with Fischer's ill-fated service attempt at Kelce's property serving as an unexpected coda to the ongoing drama. The combination of Hollywood stars, sports celebrities, intricate legal maneuvering, and now a former cop-turned-private eye facing criminal charges, created a story that seemed to embody all the unpredictability of celebrity life in the spotlight. Every detail, from the time of night Fischer chose to serve the papers to the restricted nature of the police report, contributed to an atmosphere of uncertainty and speculation. The fact that Fischer, with his checkered history and uncertain future, now faces a court date and a possible end to his career as a private investigator only added to the fascination with the case. Each new development, the original lawsuit, the countersuit, the denied deposition, the midnight arrest at a superstar athlete's home, fed into a narrative that has kept the public, the media, and the legal community on edge, eager for the next chapter. As October 15th approaches, all eyes remain on Leawood Municipal Court and on the key players in this unfolding story, with the fate of Fischer's license and the potential for further legal complications still hanging in the balance. The saga, which began as a workplace dispute between two actors, has now crossed into the worlds of sports, music, and law enforcement, showing no signs of slowing down as the stakes continue to rise.